From the North Country's news station, 7 News Tonight starts now.
Tonight, mayoral candidate in Ogdensburg, Michael Tooley, tells us why he believes he should already have a seat on the city council and why the city of Ogdensburg doesn't agree. Plus, we head to Fort Drum for the annual Mountain Mutter. Wave after wave of runners, walkers, and crawlers get down and dirty for the decade-long tradition. But first, the latest from St. Lawrence County. New information from Thursday's fatal shooting of a fugitive and fatal stabbing of a 19-year-old. Good evening, I'm Zach Grady. Thank you for joining us. Police have identified the man killed in Thursday's stabbing in Ogdensburg. As well, we learn more tonight about the lengthy criminal past of the charged man with his murder. Police say around 12:30 Thursday morning, 19-year-old Bryson Jenks, an Ogdensburg resident, was stabbed in the chest. Excuse me, my apologies. Police say the stabbing happened during an argument in the 400 block of Patterson Street. The man accused of killing him, 44-year-old Kenneth Durham. Durham is also a city resident. We learned Friday Durham was out on parole and wearing a GPS tracking device at the time of the alleged murder. Court papers say Durham cut off the ankle device at 1:11 a.m., shortly after the stabbing. Durham and Jenks were acquaintances, according to the police. They say they found Durham at 3 a.m. hiding in the city marina. He was aboard a boat that did not belong to him. Durham is also a registered sex offender with a long rap sheet of domestic dispute charges. You can read more about Durham and his criminal past on our homepage at www.wwnytv.com. State police have released more information Friday on the shootout with a fugitive in St. Lawrence County, including the name of the officer who shot him. Police released to the public Friday that during the search Thursday on Donnerville Road in Russell, Trooper Connor Sutton and K-9 Skiff located the fugitive, Sean Sheridan. K-9 Skiff went ahead with Trooper Sutton, trailing just behind when Sheridan fired one shot at them. State police say Skiff bit Sheridan in an attempt to stop him from firing more rounds. Police say Sutton believes Skiff was wounded and simultaneously returned fire, shooting Sheridan in the head. Skiff was treated at Canton Animal Clinic for a minor injury to her front paw on her right side. Police say Sheridan was, quote, heavily armed and prepared for a shootout. State police and the St. Lawrence County Sheriff's Office worked together in the search for Sutton. The Attorney General's office is investigating the case because it was an officer-involved shooting. Ogdensburg mayoral candidate Michael Tooley believes he should already have a seat on city council. This because of a vote taken on July 24th to fill a vacant seat. Tonight, 7 News reporter Sean Brinda hears Tooley's argument and tells us why the city does not agree.
For 3 weeks, the Ogdensburg City Council has had a vacant 7th seat. On July 24th, a deadlocked council failed to sit an interim councilor, voting the same way 20 times. A 3-3 split between Michael Tooley and Robert Eady. Eady bowed out of the race, prompting a 3-1 vote with 2 abstentions on a resolution to appoint Tooley, which failed to pass. This week, Tooley sent a letter to interim city manager Andrea Smith, arguing that under City Charter Section C10, he believes he had the majority, won the vacant seat, and should be sworn in by the city clerk.
I can't believe that I wasn't supported for appointment because of my qualifications or lack of qualifications. So I have to think it's political considerations.
City Councilor Bill Dillabaugh, who supported Eady, says Tooley has his take on the city charter, but argues it also reads that 4 councilors must vote in favor of a candidate.
He's got his own interpretation of it, but we got the charter, and the charter says when a person comes on, they got to be voted, and it's got to be 4 people.
City Manager Andrea Smith sent a letter back to Tooley saying, quote, the simple fact is council's last vote to fill the vacancy was not in accordance with Section C10, but rather by resolution. Therefore, I support the clerk's declaration that Bill number 67 was appropriately noted as defeated, end quote. Councilor Dan Scamperly, who supports Tooley, says both sides have valid points. He says the issue highlights inconsistencies in the city charter.
He was basically nominated by majority vote to be a councilor, whether there was 6 or 7 people voting, and that's the way it turned out. Unfortunately, the city charter does conflict, so legal opinions are legal opinions.
Council will meet on Monday to again discuss the vacant seat. Sean Brenda, 7 News.
We'll head over to the Weather Center now with Chris Hopson. We'll get a first look at the weekend's weather and how we are finishing out tonight.
Well, it's nice out there tonight. Tomorrow is going to be a different story because we do have showers and thunderstorms in the forecast, some of which could be on the strong to severe side. But like I said, out there right now, really not a whole lot going on across the entire Northeast. Keeping it mainly quiet. We do have a warm front out to our west that's bringing some showers and thunderstorms to that portion of the country. But once it gets here, we're not going to see a lot of rain from the warm front. But first weather is brought to you by Doors Plus in Adams Center. Here closer to home, you can see keeping it dry out there tonight. Just an increase in the cloud cover out there, and that's the way it's going to stay as we go towards early tomorrow morning. Like I said, we are expecting some showers and thunderstorms as we go throughout our Saturday. We're going to be watching to see how much sunshine that we see throughout the day because that's going to mean how much instability that we're going to have for these showers and thunderstorms. So when's the best chance of this? Will we see that sunshine? Well, Zach, I'll have that answer coming up in just a few.
Thanks, Chris. Till death or disagreement do us part. When it comes to the latter, there's money to be made. 7 News reporter Lexi Bruning explains what made Jefferson County a destination for divorce.
The Jefferson County Clerk's Office has been filing dozens of divorces a day.
258 in July.
The office keeps track through matrimonial index numbers, and it turns out most of the divorces are not for people who live here.
More than half of our divorces have been from downstate, down in the city.
In July, the index number was 41 for Jefferson County residents, but 239 for non-county residents. It's a major change in just a couple years. In July 2021, the number was similar for county residents, 47, but the out-of-county residents was just 1/5 of this year's, at 60. County Clerk Giselle Meek says the increase in filings came suddenly without warning.
The attorneys downstate, what they're doing is they're advertising to their clientele that you can obtain a divorce in 2 weeks. And by doing that, they charge additional money.
The heavier workload means a heftier revenue. So far this year, the out-of-county divorce filings alone have made the county more than $40,000 to $45,000, compared to about $8,000 or $9,000 from in-county filings.
That revenue stays within the county and goes back to the taxpayer.
A plus for taxpayers, but downstate lawyer Chaim Steinberger says not only does the practice add more work for upstate counties, it could backfire for clients in the case of a post-judgment dispute.
They go, well, you know, the parenting time plan that we had in this agreement, it ain't working out so good. We need to change it. And then people go, what do you mean we have to go up to Jefferson County?
In the last 2.5 years, 2/3 of Jefferson County's revenue from divorces has come from downstate, about $92,000. Lexi Bruning, 7 News.
Lewis County leaders hit the road this week to learn how other communities are helping the unhoused find a place of residence. Thursday morning, Lewis County officials toured an Ogdensburg complex with room for 20 people. They met with leaders of Step by Step, who renovated the former Lincoln Elementary School building on Knox Street. Lewis County is currently working on plans for similar housing near Lowville.
We are up here today in Ogdensburg to see what they are doing because they are getting it right. They were able to secure grants, build a beautiful facility, and also, take care of their population.
Also, thousands of dollars in grant money is still available for North Country nonprofits. The community impact grants are through the United Way of Northern New York. They are open to groups in Jefferson, Lewis, and St. Lawrence County. Up to $25,000 can be requested. CEO Dawn Cole says there are 3 requirements for a nonprofit that they must meet to be eligible for the grant, with each application being looked at thoroughly.
We're looking for programs that are innovative, collaborative, inclusive, and that also tie to our priority areas, which are social determinants of health, supports for children, and employability supports.
A total of $250,000 is available to be split up in the first round of funding. Applications must be in by August 31st. You can find a link to apply on our website, wwnytv.com. The back taxes have been paid that were owed by a Messina hotel. According to County Attorney Stephen Button, the taxes on the Messina Quality Inn have been paid in full. Owner Gary Mellis owed more than 3 years of property taxes, which accounted for more than $364,000 to the county. Officials brought the back taxes to light after a New York Post article was written about Mellis wanting New York City's mayor to send migrants north and fill up the 115-room property on West Orvis Street. The county has given Mellis an extension until Thursday to pay the taxes. Still to come, Rob Crone takes us into the weekend with your North Country Sports Report.
Hey, Zach, coming up a little later in sports, we'll check in with the Governor Wildcats football team.
Plus, we go on post as more than 1,000 participants take part in a decade-long tradition, the Mountain Mutter, when 7 News continues.
From the North Country's news station, you're watching 7 News Tonight with Garrett Dumbluski. Tonight's weather with John Kubis. And your North Country sports with Mel Busler.
The winning evening lotto numbers for Friday, the daily, 584, and the win for, 1831. More than 1,000 runners took to Fort Drum Friday, testing their mettle as part of a decade-long tradition on post, the annual Mountain Mutter. 7 News reporter Chad Charette takes us on post for the run through Remington Park.
It may have started in an inflatable obstacle course, but the real challenge began when folks put their shoes back on and trekked into the woods.
Well, this year, by far, is our most challenging mutter ever. We've added extra obstacles. It was already tough.
The course really put the mud in mutter with its 25 challenges. Runners were tasked with scaling walls, scampering atop a lily pad, and sticking the landing after a slide. They even took a dip into the swamp.
Let's go, bro. The mud's waiting for you.
Folks agreed. One of the hardest challenges came in the form of a rope swing.
Upper body strength. You have to pull yourself up pretty hard.
Taking the crown in terms of difficulty, this trip across a pond over a series of buoys. It was a painful one.
That sucks.
Great. 10 out of 10, wouldn't do it again.
Folks weren't tackling those challenges alone. Many formed teams complete with matching outfits, like this group putting on their best Rosie the Riveter.
So we just wanted to get a group of girls together and have a good time. So that's how we came with our theme.
Runners were eventually able to rinse off all that mud in this massive foam pit. After crossing the finish line, they received the reward, a shirt and commemorative coin.
At the beginning it was hard, but halfway through it, it started getting easier. Just mentality, just getting through it.
The proceeds raised during the event will go towards Fort Drum's MWR, which works to support military families. Chad Charette, 7 News.
Hawaii officials say the death toll from this week's wildfires on Maui has reached 67. The extent of the damage and loss of life is still coming to light, while many residents return to homes that were burnt to the ground. CBS News correspondent Jeff Nguyen reports from Maui.
Friday's sunrise over Maui conceals the devastation from Hawaii's worst natural disaster in decades. All around, damaged and destroyed buildings, homes, and cars are too numerous to count. Hawaii's governor spoke as he toured the area.
This is devastating for Maui. We probably have well over 1,000 buildings that have been destroyed. Many hundreds of families have been displaced.
This couple fled their home as the fires hit. Days later, they returned to a pile of smoking rubble.
Nobody really knows until they can make it in here whether their houses are standing or not.
The death toll is expected to keep rising as search teams scour the island, especially in the hardest hit town of Lahaina.
There's still people missing.
Some residents say they received little or no warning.
I realized when it was time to go when the smoke was so dark, we could not see anything outside.
Burbank, California resident Lori Stedman and her family were ordered to evacuate their Maui hotel when fire ripped through the area.
It's been kind of scary and just kind of devastating. We got to see the fires from our balcony.
In this time of crisis, Hawaiians are pulling together to help each other. This Mormon church is providing shelter to about 200 people. Most of them tourists who escaped Lahaina. On the mainland, this nonprofit in Santa Barbara sent supplies, including 300 personal care kits.
It's a little overwhelming.
And Maui resident Oprah Winfrey dropped off pillows, shampoo, and other items for evacuees staying at a gymnasium. Jeff Nguyen, CBS News on the island of Maui.
Chris Hudson's in the Weather Center with your full forecast when 7 News Tonight returns.
Now, tonight's weather.
Well, it was a beautiful day for us today, and it's a nice night out there as well. Keeping it dry, winds are dying down. Temperatures really nice out there tonight. 63 degrees here for Watertown, and those winds are dying down. Coming out of the south at 6 miles per hour, so they are slowly changing direction tonight, and they'll be changing direction tomorrow as well. We're going to be keeping an eye on that one. But for today, we had a high of 74 degrees, our low 59. Probably going to be close to that 59 tonight. Other locations getting down into the lower 50s until our warm front moves through early tomorrow morning. 56 degrees right now for Canton, 56 also for Wanakina, 57 for you in Lowville, 60 degrees in Messina, and 63 degrees for Fort Drum. So temperatures are really nice out there. It's a nice night to leave the windows open, turn the air conditioner off. Tomorrow, you probably want to leave the windows closed because we have some rain in the forecast. Tomorrow morning, maybe a few light showers moving through. I think most of us primarily dry in the morning hours. And then as we go towards noon, our chance of rain starts increasing for some locations. What we're really going to be watching tomorrow, yes, we have the chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms that could be on the strong to severe side. We're going to be seeing how much sun we get, because if we see more sun, that allows for more instability in the air. It gives more fuel for these showers and thunderstorms by the time we get into the afternoon, could make them stronger. And notice how by the time we get towards 4 p.m., it's not a continuous line of showers or thunderstorms out there. They're individual cells. That's not good, because that gives all of the energy around that storm just for that one storm. That's not what we want. We want to see more linear or quasi-linear, because they're not as strong as what these could be. So we're going to be watching tomorrow, because some of these could be on the really strong to severe side. Look, by 6 p.m., yeah, some strong storms out there for some locations. This all depends on how much sunshine we see tomorrow. More sun is not a good thing tomorrow. I know most of us want to see the sun. Tomorrow is not going to be that case. As we go towards 8 p.m., it becomes more linear as it moves past us, but then we're left with a few showers and maybe a few light thunderstorms at times as we go throughout the evening hours Saturday. Best chance of severe weather tomorrow is anywhere from 1 to 7 p.m., primarily in the later part of that. And then as we go towards Sunday, a few morning showers, but Sunday does look like a nice day for us. Yeah, we do have a slight risk for severe storms tomorrow. That is a 2 out of 5 chance. The Storm Prediction Center is talking about increasing this to an enhanced risk, so that would be a 3 out of 5. And if we're going to see the severe weather at its worst, I'm worried about Lewis County tomorrow. So if you live in Lewis County, make sure you are staying tuned to the forecast, because we do have a low-end chance for a tornado, and that comes primarily in Lewis County. So the things that we're going to be watching for that to materialize is going to be how much sunshine do we see tomorrow? What are the wind directions? If we see a southeast wind, we see a lot of sunshine tomorrow, that could be spelling some problem for us. And then also, what is the speed of the cold front? Does it get here during the peak heating hours of the day? Because that could be some issues as well. But as far as the next 7 days, temperatures staying below average as far as that. Nice on Monday, keeping it dry. And then Tuesday, rain does return to the forecast. Sunday, I think it's going to be a nice day. Just a few rain showers early in the morning. But tomorrow, we're going to be on high alert for the weather. And hopefully, nothing really happens. But Rob Crum will have sports next.
Now, your North Country Sports.
It's time for your Toyota Sports Report. We continue our previews of area high school football teams by heading up Route 11 to St. Lawrence County, where we check in with the Gouverneur Wildcats in search of another strong season in 2023. Coach Sean Devlin's Wildcats had another strong season in 2022, finishing with an 8-2 overall record, 1-0 in Class C play, losing to Warrensburg Lake George in the State Class C Regionals. The Wildcats returned 19 players from last year's roster, and Devlin has most of his key players back, looking to make another run this season.
Filling spots is always hard, and we lost a couple, keys on the offensive, defensive line. But we got some running backs back. Our 3-year starter and Holden Stoll's back. Our fullback and Gage Cornell is back. Vinny Thomas at the running back spot is back. Owen Seybolt, who's anchored the line for a couple years, is back as well. So we got good players in the key spots, and other guys will step up and fill in when needed.
Scoring was not a problem for the Wildcats last season, and Devlin says fans will once again not only see a high-powered offense, but a balanced offense.
I think we're pretty balanced. Again, we got a 3-year guy who can kind of throw the ball, and that's one of the reasons why we're here. And we got some veteran guys on the outside who can catch the ball. And I think we're going to be able to, hopefully run the ball with some experience. So, hopefully a balanced attack. Usually that's the way to go.
The players say coming up one win shy of making it to the state semifinals was a driving force in the offseason for them to train harder and take that next step this season.
Yeah, we have a lot of returning guys, so it should just be able to carry over nice and smoothly.
I think we have a lot of potential if we put in hard work and dedicate our time to football.
Probably over half the team goes to the gym, and we've been doing our own practices over at the field.
We all know what we're doing. We have like 22 seniors, I believe, and we all played last year, so we all know what we're doing.
In order to repeat as Section 10 Class C champs and make a deep run in the state playoffs, Devlin says there are a couple of keys for his team.
The key to any championship is to stay healthy, keep guys eligible, and make big plays when you need to. But we're not worried about that. We're worried about who's eligible for the first day of practice, and every day after that becomes the next step in the process.
A process that has worked well for the Wildcats in the past and should serve them well in 2023. Day 2 of practice for the St. Lawrence Saints football team wrapping up today. The Saints reporting for fall practice on Wednesday and getting to work yesterday in preparation for the upcoming 2023 season. Coach Dan Puckhaber told us yesterday he was happy with what he saw on the first day of practice, and the players say they're glad to be back on the field for another season of football.
It's great. It's really good. A lot of returning guys all over the place on defense and on offense. Starters, even 2-3 deep. All these guys are returning. So couple new faces, but a lot of returners, and it's good to be able to stack the chips that we made last year and just be able to build upon that as the start of camp comes.
It feels good to be back. First day, typical. Everyone's pumped for it. It was fun. We put in a new defense, so we had some struggles at the start, but we're getting there. We're ready to work.
It was a great night on area ranges of the Northern Tier Trap League. Here's trap scores and individual results courtesy of Herringer's Contracting. The roof people who call you back. Great work by great guys. 315-782-9129. All the scores compiled by Gina Worth, checking team results from last night. Snow Fun of Evans Mills over Brownville. Henderson outlasted Lowville. Carthage shaded Harrisville. Beaver River outshot Gouverneur. Glen Gregg over Lyme. And Adams Center nipped Sackett's Harbor. 32 shooters perfect last night. Marty Turk, Nick Barrington, Ryan Rogers, Joe Fredericks, and Ethan Clemens. Also Clancy O'Donnell, Cody O'Donnell, Mike Vady II, and Terry Alt. Add to the list Alex St. Louis, Daniel Covey, Wayne Ernst, Merle Arndt, and Hunter Burke. How about John Campany, Cole Warden, George Garrow, Dave McCrae, and Paul Kripp? Add to the list Nicole Daniels, Mike Heafy, Robert Moon, Matthew Kimball, and Kevin Birch. Also Edward Powell, Tom Dawley, Don Farrell, Don Bonham, and Brian Monnet. Rounding out the list, Todd Lund and Cody Dellis. 7 shooters perfect for 2 straight weeks. Alex Tucker, Scott Covey, Edward Frasillo, Zachary Dashnaw, and Josh Grimshaw. Rounding out the list, Hunter Downey and Damon Ciro. 1 shooter perfect for 3 straight weeks. That's Scott Hotaling. And 1 shooter perfect for an entire month, Declan McFall. Aaron Judge hit a 464-foot home run. Rookie Anthony Volpe hit a 3-run drive, and the Yankees beat the Marlins 9-4. Judge hit his 22nd homer and is batting .256 with 3 homers and 5 RBIs since returning from the injured list on July 28th. The home run was the longest at Miami this season. Volpe hit his 15th homer, putting the Yankees ahead with his 2nd inning shot off Jesus Luzardo. Tonight's Major League Baseball, it's been a long week. Major League Baseball scoreboards brought to you by Fairground Inn, located on Coffeen Street in Watertown. Fairground Inn features gourmet sandwiches and Italian specialties. Daily specials include Thursday night prime rib along with Friday fish and mac and cheese. Open 7 days a week, family owned and operated. Say hi to Leo, it's Fairground Inn. Interleague play, these games finals, Yankees over Miami, Chicago defeats Toronto. American League action, Boston downs Detroit, and in the National League, Atlanta blanks the Mets. Well, that's going to do it in sports. When we come back, Zach Grady's in to send us into the weekend.
Well, we have some showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Saturday, some of which could be on the strong to severe side. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that for Saturday.
That's all for Rob, Chris, and I tonight. Brendan Straub back behind the desk for your weekend report. Thank you for joining us.